happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to the Advanced Division. You might notice that we skipped past the Novice and Intermediate. That's because we're not doing those segments this week, because breaks and all that, so we're just going to have Advanced and the, weekly segment. I have the manager of Goats Only, Pooter, here.
Hello, I'm not doing Intermediate this time. I'm actually in Advanced. Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go!
We also have the captain of Hangzhou, Jepik.
Hi.
He sounds stressed.
Hi, Jeff.
And then we have the flex support for the flock, Meek.
Yo, what's up?
So we'll just get straight into the recap. Kind of an interesting week. Some good matches, some unfortunate, I wouldn't call it a match, but an event. So the first match was the flock versus Hangzhou. Pretty interesting match, if I do say so myself. Probably one of the better matches of the week. That an easy clap, but for now we'll talk about this one. Player of the matches were tied with EMP and Meek, so we actually have player of the match here.
Yep.
And then honorable mentions went out to Melt McCore and Surf. Flock won it 3-1. Hangzhou put up a good fight, especially on the first map, which they took. I believe that was Busan. But honestly, once I think Meek was subbed in second map, and someone else was subbed in, I think, on the flock, and someone else might have been subbed out on Hangzhou. I forget exactly, all the matches are melding in my head. But basically, once Meek came in, I noticed there was a distinct difference of, like, Vermilion on the Hangzhou side did really good the first map, and then Meek just, like, completely outplayed. And I'm not just saying that because you're here, you actually did impress me watching the
Let's go.
match back.
Good shot, Meek. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
And then another interesting fact to note is that because it went to a map 4, Agreed actually got to play one map and got utterly decimated by Portal. I was kind of sad to see it because it's like, oh yeah, he finally gets his first map of the new season, and he just lost hard. So, like, what was, since you were playing Jepic, like, what was sort of going on with the team's comms at that point once Agreed came in?
When Agreed came in, well, it was interesting. I know, like, right after it happens, like, there's so much I want to say. And then, like, when you told me I'd be on countdown, I was like, these are the things I want to talk about, but I'm completely blanking on it now. But, I mean, essentially, like, Agreed had mega confidence. I mean, because when he's just watching from the sidelines and seeing us lose, even though we took first map, he was very frustrated. He had a lot of energy, but I think I don't know, maybe he let that get to his head, and when he maybe started losing the first fight or two, we just struggled.
Yeah,
because I was just gonna say, like, the dynamic when we play with Juice versus when we play with Agreed, like, in terms of comm structure, becomes completely different, and it's not just Agreed yelling. It's not what happens.
Yeah, what we were playing against Agreed on map 4, we all noticed collectively that Agreed plays extremely messy and aggro, so we just kept punishing him, and we managed to completely negate his use, which is why we were able to roll your team in the last 3 maps.
Yeah, I kind of noticed, like, Melton in particular was just bullying Agreed. Like, he just wait for him to walk forward, press wall, goodbye Agreed, back to spawn.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Melton's walls were just, I mean, they were on point. It's such a simple ability, but he nailed it.
Yeah, I definitely... It was easier to notice too because the casters Charm and Rent are like immediately like, oh wow, Agreed came in. He's playing ridiculously aggressive, whereas Juice was so passive. So it had the potential to disrupt things, but you guys definitely had a lot more success with Juice in. I almost hate to say it because Agreed's gonna tilt, but, like, I'm gonna give him a pass on this one because that was his first map of the entire season. I'll give him some time.
Yep.
Like I said before, momentum when you're playing with Juice versus once you try and hop in with Agreed, it's I think if we play 3 maps with Juice, keep him in for the 4th. I think that was a mistake on my end.
After the
not
Busan,
because Agreed is bad.
Yeah. After the Busan map, you guys were coming into the second one with some considerable momentum. However, after we were able to completely, like, roll you guys on Anubis and King's Row, I believe that nearly all the momentum just ended, and we were just able to, like, mentally destroy you guys in the last map, which is why we won.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed like towards the second attack, oh yeah, say second point attack for Hangzhou on Anubis in particular. Like they came in with a bunch of ultimate, I think like 6 or 5 ultimates. They used like all but one of them, got absolutely nothing, like didn't even get a tick, and I was like, oh no, there's the momentum shift, and then it just kind of went downhill from there. But
Yep.
it was almost, it was not even almost, it was close up until that point. Like it was a good showing. Overall, not a
Yeah.
bad match. I think there's a lot of hope for Hangzhou to give you some.
Wait, how did we lose a fight with 5 ults? How did- I
I
actually
believe
gotta rewatch that. I haven't
If
rewatched the entire
if
thing.
I
yet.
recall correctly, I got like 3 people anti, and
Yeah.
then like I
Oh, I remember.
Somebody popped off and got,
Oh
like,
god,
a
I
push
remember
or something.
Vermilion. He went into like the cubby behind Anubis point B.
Yeah, Vermilion got
he
sectioned
he
off.
went. Yeah, he got sectioned off there because I think he was going for a nade because he got away with those first map a lot.
Yeah,
got a lot of good
he
nades.
popped a hell of a lot harder on Busan. Like I was really impressed with him. It's like, wow, Hangzhou might actually win this. And then, like after the first map ended, like he just didn't have that much value anymore, which is weird because Surf didn't really eat anymore. It's just like Meek and Akahap, who I believe got subbed in map 4, didn't he? Or he got
Yeah,
subbed in.
I
at some
had
point.
to leave. The reason, okay, I was watching over the VOD and they suspected like I was not playing well or something like that. And the actual reality of why I was subbed out after map 3 when we got 2 maps in a row is because my internet was about to DC.
Oh,
So I had to get subbed out for Aquahop.
okay, yeah, I was watching that and I was like, Meek definitely wasn't playing bad. So like, unless they have a set strategy or like he just had to go, because you and EMP in particular, I think he's a really undersung hero. I think you going into this, a lot of people knew you from last season, were kind of expecting you to pop off. But there's a few people like Fordle, like Surf, like EMP, who just kind of came out of nowhere this season. So
Yes.
I'm actually rather impressed with the flock in general, but that's kind of all I got for this match. Unless you have something more you want to vent about, Jepic.
No, sir.
I'll remember and I'll interrupt you later. And
Okay.
I'll feel really stupid.
Next match was not so much a match as much as Newt realizing that they needed 2 ringers as they got into the lobby and like, oh, I guess we have to forfeit. So that was kind of entertaining because I was supposed to host and record that match, but then it just kind of turned into hanging out for 2 minutes.
Happens to the best of us.
Well, I was actually going to say I'm really scared because we essentially had to forfeit. Bark had to forfeit against Nunu week 1. Week 2, now Nunu's forfeiting against Gangsters.
Oh my god,
So
Newt
next
has not
week-
played a game.
Well, first of all, that, but second of all, it's going to be a chain, okay? This is my prediction. Guangzhou Gangsters is now going to forfeit against Bark, and we're going to be in an infinite cycle where now Bark is going to forfeit week 5, which is going to be a loop. It's never going to, there's always
Although-
going to be one team.
It is worth noting that like half of Newt is now unsuspended. They have Baz, they have Buffalo, so they're going to have a lot more players, and they're going to have a lot more terrifying players. So I feel like their season
Okay.
can actually start.
This might be a spicy take, but Buffalo's best trait is probably his mechanics. So if you can, since in this current meta for flex supports, you typically either play Brig or Ana most of the time, like a solid 90% of the time. Mechanical ability is still like shown between flex supports. You can see the difference, but it's going to be much harder for like Buffalo to solo carry as
I could see that. I
He
remember
did,
the
that's-
Flock say, or I remember Crest saying last season that he was like really quiet. So
yes. You can have just like lots of high level divas and scrims typically just like during a fight just go onto the on a player and you just try to like negate their value. So if he doesn't calm that, then it's just easy team fight wins.
yeah, be interesting to see him come back, or if they decide to keep in Meek. Fucking Meta. There we go.
Whoa!
Calm
I'm gonna
down.
go. I'm gonna tell staff.
I am staff. Damn it. Anyways,
No, I'm telling staff. Hey, Akri.
Whoa,
Anyways.
is that a curse word?
Anyways,
what I heard.
Easy
Sign up
Clap
for this.
versus Hanamura Hotshots. Please, I watched the rest of the countdown, I know. I've seen the other segments. Easy Clap versus Hanamura Hotshots was the other match. Unsurprisingly, Easy Clap took it 3-1. I guess somewhat surprisingly, he took a 3-1. Hanamura did manage to take a map and made certain fights close on the other maps, but otherwise, Hanamura was really the only chance that they had to really claim a map. I think they needed to work on their ult economy, especially when things got dicey. Otherwise, yeah, they have some promise. I think they could still be mid-table, although everyone seems to still be destroying them in scrim, so I'm not entirely sure what the deal is there, but...
I can't
Are you
say
talking about
anything.
Hanamura?
Yeah.
I just don't think they're a very well put together team. I just don't.
Yeah, I said this before. I don't know when. I said this before, but they built their whole roster around like pugs and all that. Not really how people work together and synergize.
Well,
You know what I'm
it's tough because Hamop really wasn't familiar, or I guess still isn't all too familiar with a lot of the advanced players. So it's really hard for him to understand, like, personality-wise, who he'd be picking up and how they would affect his team and whatnot. I mean, I guess I did also pick up Agreed, but you can be quiet.
I mean, you protected Agreed officially, so you knew what you were getting into.
Well, yeah, of course.
But I will say that during the
Agreed.
match itself, I casted that match from map 2 onwards, and Hanamura had a really good amount of composure, like when the going got tough. It was just sort of like when ultimates started flying out that they kind of wasted them and didn't get as much value, and obviously when you're facing Kurul and Wannabe DPS duo, it's kind of tough to pull out the win there.
I can second that. Yes, definitely.
Booter has experienced that firsthand.
Okay, I want to say one thing. This schedule is scuffed. We face, in my opinion, the top 2 teams back to back.
So does
I think we
Hanamura.
should. I agree. I think we should just mute.
Yeah. Also,
Let him talk for a bit.
one thing I'd like to add for the Easy Cop match is that if I remember correctly, Easy Cop does not scream at all,
No.
and they don't really try, according to themselves.
Mhm.
So I think if they
Yeah.
were to come to the match like practiced and prepared, the match score would be way more one-sided. And
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
One thing I actually would like to note, I mentioned this a lot in the match because I was so flabbergasted that it actually happened, but Hanamura forced Easy Clap to play meta. That's something that Goats Only didn't even manage to do, no offense, Pooter, but like,
Okay, wow.
Easy Clap was just... Easy Clap literally went through the entire DPS lineup over the course of your match, and they were like
Yeah.
hard stuck on McCree standard meta during Hanamura, so like, they actually made him work for it in some capacity. They couldn't just meme 24/7.
Yeah, never lucky.
I mean, after this week, you have a chance because you got the big 2 out of the way.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Falcon was the player of the match. Jolene and Cal were honorable mentions. Moving on to the last match, Pooter, I'm sure you have at least a little bit to say about this one because it was basically 40 minutes of Goats Only not knowing how to deal with the Doomfist, which was
Yeah.
Flushed versus Goats Only. Flushed took it, like I said, in about 40 minutes, 3-0. Big Boy McMatt actually got player of the match. Happy to see him. I believe
Dude,
that's
of
his
course he did.
first.
What do you mean? He's like surprisingly? That's a joke.
No, I'm just happy because I'm pretty sure that's his first time ever getting it. He might have gotten it last season, like one match for Chengdu, but I'm not entirely certain. And then the honorable mentions, unsurprisingly, were Mythology and Rev, both really good players.
Yeah.
So Pooter, what happened? Why did you have so much difficulty with Rev's Doomfist?
Okay. So, I told after first map, because I realized that we were getting destroyed by the Doomfist, go Kree, May, and maybe another stun, maybe a Brig, something along the lines of that.
So why not swap
yeah.
to like a Sombra if the Doomfist was like solo carrying fights? Because
I don't know. Also, we had our main support wasn't there. 2 of our supports weren't there. I'm not making up excuses, definitely not.
No, I did notice there was a lot of people missing from what I saw last week.
Yeah. Also, Fugla like broke his arm or something, so he had a brace on while he was aiming.
Okay.
So yeah, that was scuffed.
Yeah,
Except
the
from
entire.
that, yeah, they're just an amazing team.
Well, obviously, Flushed
players.
is top 2. I think this upcoming weekend with Flushed versus Easy Clap will be one hell of a match.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, basically that VOD you can probably just skip unless you want to watch a team get completely hammered by a Doomfist for 40 minutes, because that's basically all it was. It was painful to watch. I just kind of times 2 the speed and was like, yep, okay, I got the idea. Anyways, one day you will take a win. I hope to see it.
One day. Yo, tomorrow, not tomorrow. Next Sunday, one of the either Hanamura or Goats Only will get a win.
Oh, yep. We'll talk about that in just a second, though. Might as well use that as a transition to predictions.
God, does that mean that we have to win? We last.
Yeah. Wait, hold up.
What?
But what if... No, we're gonna win. Okay,
Alright, so first match is Hangzhou versus Guangzhou. I'm predicting... Actually, yeah, everyone besides Jepic, because he can't predict the scoreline or all that. Everyone is predicting Guangzhou to win 3-1, of all things. Guangzhou... Actually, it is worth noting that when they were in the lobby, granted they didn't get to play, but when they were in the lobby, Brody actually was there. I know there was some problems with him, like possibly being inactive, but I guess he's back now, so you might have to deal with a 4.6 peak main tank, who is supposedly not as good as 4.6 according to some people who have been trash talking from what I've seen, but eh.
Wait, what?
I have to say one thing.
What?
What did you just say?
So, we're taking it all the way back during the draft.
Oh, we're going there.
We're going there. Brody was our first pick. He was going to be our first pick. We had a whole plan around him. He got yoinked by us the round before us.
Yup. I remember you raging in manager chat for that. It was so funny.
Yep.
He was the entire plan. Hedwig lost
But
it.
I have to second this. He is one of the most aggressive Reinhardts I've ever seen, and he actually does stuff.
Are you saying Agreed doesn't do stuff?
Wait, why are you bringing up Agreed? This has nothing to do with
I didn't
Agreed.
say Agreed.
Because you're versing Agreed next. Well, they're
Agreed is
versing
great.
Agreed next week.
I want to hear it.
No,
wait,
he is
what?
great. He just needs to get out of his own head. He can sometimes feed a bit too much.
I could definitely see Agreed being good making.
We keep using already.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, actually another matchup I'm really interested in seeing for Hangzhou versus Guangzhou is both of their hit scan are absolutely insane with Term and Haptic. So I'm really curious to see who can out McCree the other. I feel like that might have some really nice highlights there. Anyways, moving on to the next match, we got Newt versus the Flock. Maybe for once we will get to see Newt play. Maybe this season they will not have to forfeit. So yeah, everyone thinks this is going to go to a map 5. Minus Meek, because we don't know what he thinks quite yet. We'll ask him in a second. But Jepic and I think Newt will pull out ahead, and Pooter thinks the Flock will come out. Meek, what are you thinking for the match coming up?
The Nunes versus Flock.
Yeah.
We went 3-0.
Why?
I mean,
what do you think will put you over the edge?
We have the better team.
That's fair.
he's got a point. He's got a point.
So who do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm convinced.
Who do you think in terms of support lineup are you going to be facing? Because obviously they have the two.
They have
Ben,
Buffalo,
and,
Saida.
they have Buffalo, Baz, Ben, and Meta.
Okay, so just from my experience, I think they're probably gonna play Baz and Buffalo. So kind of decent. I think we can definitely outplay them if we just try our best. Yeah.
I can see it.
We've been in scrims. We've been trying to practice new strats that you might see.
Ooh.
But
anyone else have anything for that matchup?
Yeah.
Hold on, Meek, were you there? Really quick, were you there when the scrim that we scrimmed you a few days ago?
Ooh, potentially.
It's right after the match. I forget. If you were there.
maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Good to know.
Anyways, Pooter, you were gonna say something?
Oh yeah. I really think that the Flock will be a title contender through the whole thing.
Thanks.
They have a good roster, good management. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, preseason, there were staff was concerned because we weren't hearing anything from Hawk, and we didn't know if they were scrimming or what was going on. So I had my doubts, but honestly, these past 2 weeks have shown me that they are probably a top 3 team.
Yeah. I feel like they've been scrimming a lot of out of house, not in.
That would make
reminds me
sense.
of another team from last season run
Like
by
Crest, like
a
Crest.
similar management.
That happened
WWE.
both seasons for the. Yeah, that's actually happened for both season champions for Advanced / Season 0. Go again, like never scrimmed in house.
Yeah. Wait,
Damn.
are we making a mistake?
Take
What?
notes.
Take notes.
You're making a mistake.
I'm writing down right now. I got my
Well,
notepad out.
I got it. You guys hear this?
Anyways, next matchup is probably going to be potentially a match of the week. Even Easy Clap themselves think that Flushed could challenge them the most out of any other team from what we've asked them, but pretty much everyone
Just so
here
you
thinks...
know.
Go ahead, me.
I just wrote down. What's up?
Expect nudes. Just this is for nudes. Expect to go swimming soon.
Possibly some boops for the boop god in the near future. Hopefully, at least. Actually, that'll be interesting, because EMP has been a rather aggressive Reddit Lucio, and I mean, we know Baz
No,
at this point.
okay, that's not what I meant. But if you can figure it out, that's nice.
Okay. Then
It's true. It is in fact quite nice.
He's gonna boot.
I'm
with
very
ball.
curious.
It's ball time. He's gonna boot with ball.
But anyways, Easy Clap versus Flush. Pretty much everyone thinks that Easy Clap will take it. Somewhat unsurprisingly, they're all ridiculously talented players. Let's see, myself, Meek, and Jepic think that Easy Clap will take it 3-1. Pooter thinks they'll take it to a map 5. I could honestly see a map 5, but at the same time it's Easy Clap, so it's hard to say that they aren't going to win. Anyone have anything in particular?
I completely agree. I just think Easy Cup are much better than Flushed.
Yeah.
Easy Cup is just on another tier on its own.
Yeah,
I
I'd agree
would
with that.
say that Easy Clap, if they just take care of the Doom, they just win. That's basically all, in my opinion.
I mean, if anything else, Easy Clap has shown that they really don't care about running meta, so like, I could easily see them just swapping off to like a Sombra. It's like, okay, well Rev can't play Doomfist anymore.
Yeah.
Or Koodle just decides to pop, or Wannabe just decides to, anyone decides to pop off on McCree. Yusuf, I don't really know. I don't I don't know what they're practicing.
think-
Yusuf on the Kree.
I
They're not
wanna say-
practicing.
I want to say I could, if you could show me literally any like map score for this match, and I would it would still make sense to me. You
Yeah.
could show me any map score. I'd be like, yeah.
This might be a
makes sense.
coin flip.
Except for 3-0s, I could
No, I could make it happen.
Depends on the mentality of Flush coming in. Like if they just boom themselves before.
Or other way around.
Yeah, if Easy Clap memes too hard. Although I feel like this is the one match they are actually going to try in, if anything, because they already know that this is probably the second best team behind them if they tried. Possibly the first best team if they don't try, so, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Moving on to the last match, though, we got Goats Only versus Hanamura Hotshots. I think Hanamura will take it 3-0. Sorry, Pooter. Meek and Jepic both think that Goats Only will actually take it. Meek thinks
Let's go,
3-0.
let's go.
Jepic thinks 3-1. So I guess since I'm the odd man out here, obviously since Pooter thinks that his team will take it. From what I've seen of both teams versing Easy Clap, Hanamura had a much better showing against Easy Clap. They looked a lot more composed, and maybe it's just bad scheduling, but they seem to put up a better fight. Actually, yeah, you both have faced the same two opponents the last 2 weeks. You both faced Flush and Easy Clap in reverse order. So I feel like Hanamura put up a better fight against those teams, but I know this past weekend against Flush, you kind of had subs and all that, so maybe that's not the best representation of what your team can do.
Yeah.
But I guess you guys will just have to prove me wrong. I still feel like Hanamura isn't dead last.
Hanamura is definitely not dead last. I
disagree. But okay.
have a team that their captain
There
is
are-
in this chat in last place.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Wait,
the other
wait,
team.
wait.
I have
Hey,
two-
we've had suspended players.
in my opinion, there are two
Very many.
contenders for last place, and they both happen to have the same first initial.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oof.
and it's not the Guangzhou team.
Hey, we got a lot of scrimbucks. Jepic.
I know, but you can't be.
I was really
24/7.
gonna say, Goats only Scrimbox is like twice the size of Hanamura. I think Hanamura might have negative at this point, concerning other League Zero teams. And that's what I
Yeah,
say anyway.
honestly, like from what I've been hearing of like, oh, Hanamura sucks in scrims and this. And
I,
that, but
bel
from
I
what I've
believe
seen-
that Wait What and Bot Burgers may have a solid chance against the Hanamura team.
Oh, definitely not. From what I've seen of them in game, watching like even against Flushed, Hanamura didn't do terrible, and against Easy Clap they actually did pretty good. So I can
Okay,
see.
but
them
have you
improving.
seen Bot Burgers? Yeah, that's what I thought.
I have seen Bob Burgers. I remember I edit this show. I have to go through so much footage for this.
Not true. Don't believe him.
Never do, never do.
Anyways, yeah, Pooter, what are you thinking for this match against Hanamura? Like, what are you most afraid of on Hanamura, if anything?
I'm not afraid of any specific players. I feel like we could definitely outclass their DPS. Like, we have Moby and Fugla. If Fugla doesn't break his arm again, then we're good.
Put check on the rat. Do it.
We will put
You're
check.
afraid. You are afraid. Put check on the rat.
We're gonna put check on the rat. We're gonna go Li Zhang first. Let's go.
Thanks, man.
Then our tanks can definitely outclass them. Even though Joshua is like a hot name right now, Vegetal and / or Norse can definitely beat him. And then
I will
our
say
support-
Client is pretty nuts on off tank, from what I've seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but our off tank is better. Smile, Wrath, and then our supports Adam and Lux. Need I say more?
I have not seen too much of Lux play support, aside from getting demolished by Rev, so not a fair comparison, but I do know I have seen plenty of Adam playing last season and this season, so...
Wait, is Adam the guy with the gold border?
I
I
think
It's
so?
kind of high.
You want me to check?
I don't recall. He might be?
I'm gonna check.
yeah.
That's too much work. I changed my
If his
mind.
peak is like kind of high, then I think he is like.
We're
not the
talking
greatest.
Adam ATOM.
Yeah,
Okay, just making sure.
I think
Atom-
it's like
Atom is not the greatest player, in my opinion.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Got something to prove, Adam. Bring it on Sunday. I mean, one of you has to come out of this match with a win. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
You can't draw
Yes,
every map, so
I think-
someone is going to prove us wrong.
Food are really about to say that you can tie on control. I'm ready to hear your argument.
If the fight just goes on for like 15
The game
hours,
just ends.
Theoretically, if you both stand on point for long enough, someone's gonna leave.
I believe the game
Exactly.
forcibly ends it at like 30-something minutes, or they might have upped it. But it used to end at like 30-something minutes.
I think it's higher.
30 minutes.
I think they actually made it higher.
They probably did, especially for Control, because that can drag out forever. But I know it does eventually end, because it's like, okay, neither of you are going to win this. Anyways, yeah, that's all the matches. That's all the recap and all that
Wait,
stuff.
wait. Did we
Oh,
ever even talk about Flush and
Yes.
Yeah, we-
Flush,
the other team?
Flush
Yeah,
versus
we did.
Easy Clap? Yeah.
No, the one from last week.
Yeah.
Flush versus Goats Only. Yeah, it was 40 minutes of Goats Only getting destroyed by
Oh, I
Rev
guess it was
Doomfist.
too fast for us to even cover it. Jeez.
Yeah, it was a fast match.
Yeah.
Oh, because I just wanted to say, if anyone who's watching and hasn't watched it, just watch Flush's defense on Hanamura. You'll be greatly
Oh my
entertained.
god.
They-
We had like 6 people on point. And
Yeah, they had
just
6 people off the
comes in
map.
4 kills.
They had 6 people off the map.
they kind of started memeing at that point, so it's funny to watch, but
Yeah.
not. It's kind of painful if you're sympathetic to Goats Only. like
Never lucky.
this week was not good for them, but next week maybe.
Yo, morale is strong. We win.
That's all. Just morale is strong. Not like we've been doing good in scrims or whatever. Just you got it.
We have scrim bucks. That's all I have to say.
They do.
Okay.
But they also
Zephyr.
didn't show up to the scrim today, so I don't know how that
Yo,
went.
yeah.
sorry.
That one's on Lux apparently, from what I heard.
Mucka W. Sorry, Lux.
Anyways, anyone have any closing statements?
Sure. Me.
Flock is
for-
winning the season.
Okay.
The two time.
First
Well,
off,
succeeded.
shout out to Zeron, captain. He's doing well, but also Kobe lost to Plat Ryan. That is all.
Which Plat Ryan? Who?
I don't know. He told me to say that.
Oh, okay.
It's like we have to.
Oh, okay. Just roasting him.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Anyways, Pooter, you got anything?
Something.
See you in the weekly segment. Yada yada. He will be there anyways.
See ya in intermediate because that's all I'm doing.
Well, no,
Also,
the weekly
I
segment.
can't wait for the wannabe Melon and Zero countdown. That's gonna be scuffed as all hell.
I might just make that like the last one of the season. Be like, okay, guys, go crazy.
It's just gonna be Acri with like on a field trip with some kids.
Yeah, as Dividing called it, me chaperoning a 7th grade field trip. Yep. Actually,
Zero, the type of kid to get lost at Walmart.
did that actually happen, or you just pulled that out of thin air?
You spill that up in there. I
Okay.
didn't think it would happen.
See, that's the problem. Is I thought it might have actually happened. That's all we got. Tune in for the weekly segment. This week's actually going to be kind of funny. So I don't know. See ya. What's happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to the weekly segment. We've got a little something special here, a little bit inspired by something Grape did last season towards the end of the countdown. We're going to have a little 7-second summary here, or 7-word summary, rather, 7-second summary. That's Dividing's old thing. So we're going to...
Rest in peace.
Yeah, we each have teams assigned to us, 6 or 7 respectively, and we're going to describe those teams in 7 words or less, and then we're going to have 30 seconds afterwards to explain the context of them, if there is any, and then after 30 seconds we're just going to hard stop, move on to the next team. So first we're going to go... Oh yeah, I guess I should introduce the people that we have with us. I guess you can see them on screen as well, but we got Dividing, the big boss, filling in for Pooter. He actually did save one of Pooter's phrases, but the rest of them are his own. We got Grape
Yeah.
Cake.
Hey guys, I'm the Novice Advanced. This is Grape Cake.
Hopefully you'd know him if you watched the novice part. And then we have a divisional analyst, Copy Dog.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Do my little YouTube intro, right? Michael Jordan or the Copy Dog here. Woo!
Alright, so we're going to dive straight into novice, and that one's just me and Grape, and then we'll move on to intermediate and then advanced for last. So, Grape will start off with Rio Redemption, so if you want to do that one.
Yeah, so you can start off with your redemption. So I'll talk. I'll try not to talk fast. Okay. Okay. So Rio Redemption started out the season with a tough 0-3 loss right away, going down to a strong geometric team at the time. Likewise, in week 2, they ended up losing 3-0 again, with the only team being a -6 map differential. Right now, my phrase for Rio is something needs to change and fast. The reason I say this is because going 0-6 already in the first 2 weeks is really hard to bounce back from. Although we saw something like this from Bob Burgers last season, they did end up making a lot of changes in this week break. And so far, with no changes coming out of Rio, I'm actually quite worried if they're actually going to be able to translate this into week 3 and actually build off their loss and actually get wins potential.
And 30 seconds. We gotta stop. Moving on.
Yeah.
Geometric, I'm next. Geometric for the phrase I have... Let me just reset my timer. I swear we're not smurfing. No, really. So obviously there's a lot of controversy with Geometric early on in the season, especially with Hattori Hanzo, who was eventually moved up to wait what? She honestly legitimately had like an 80% win rate at 2600 SR before the season even started, so we're like, okay, yeah, we gotta move her up. Obviously Geometric picked up the by far highest SR of any team in Novice by like I think 200 SR, something crazy like that. Their average is like 2.3. And that's right about my time. So we're going to move on to One Trick Wonders. Grape, that's you.
One Trick Wonders. My phrase for One Trick Wonders is potential dark horse from Novice. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because in their first week against Wisdom Academy, who's believed to be the #1 seed in this league, OTW actually brought it really close, only losing 3-2. Likewise, OTW was able to take this loss and beat a strong Platchat team. Currently right now 3-0 pretty dominantly. So when I'm seeing this right now, I think OTW is probably going to improve later on in the season, especially with their next few games going up against some easier opponents such as Rio Redemption. So if OTW can actually build off this, I can definitely see
30
them
seconds.
potential dark horse.
Nice finish. And next we actually have Plat Chat, ironically enough. So my phrase for Plat Chat is, hey, at least it's not Season 1, because yes, while they are starting off 0-2 in the season, both of their games have looked rather close. OTW took it a lot more demandingly than I think anyone was expecting, but the game against Hyperflex was probably a battle of the titans for the time being, at the very least. So they definitely have the composure. They have made the games a lot closer than they did in Season 1, which was just kind of a mess by this point in the season, let's be honest. Sorry, EQO. But yeah. That's all I've got for that. So Wisdom is next. Grape, that's you.
Yeah, so my phrase for Wisdom Academy is, can you be #1 seed? So looking at the first week, Wisdom Academy did take down OTW squad, but it was a very close battle, and with OTW being rated by many as to be the last place team, Wisdom definitely brought it extremely close. In their next week game though, they ended up being Rio 3-0, but that's not much of a confidence, and Geometry did the same thing. My biggest question is for them, are they able to sustain are they able to actually overtake Geometric in the #1 seed? Right now, they're only down one map. But what will happen once they face Geometric? Will they end up losing, or will they end
30
up winning?
seconds.
It's gonna be.
All right, moving on to the last Novice one, we got Hyperflex. Go ahead, Grape.
Yeah, so for my statement for Hyperflex is stop relying on solo carry plays to win. Now, Hyperflex came into this league as the favorites by far, considering that they had Arrow as a manager and a lot of returning Season 1 players. Because of this, they had high expectations, and they were somewhat able to live up to them, beating Platcha, but Platcha was rated really low on many power rankings. The next week, though, they ended up losing they lost pretty badly to Geo 3-1, and the only reason they were actually able to take a map was because of strong plays coming up from Alucard and Herping Yoshi. My question is to them, will you guys actually build up your teamwork, or are you guys going to keep relying on these solo play carry heroes?
About 2.5 seconds over, but close enough. Anyways, anyone have any extraneous comments? Words are difficult tonight for Novice.
Well, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't really watch Novice, but Hyperflex, your logo's cool, so I'm rooting for you.
That's pretty much the standard response for someone who's not in or cares
Oh,
about.
also Rio, because Rio is a great city.
Hashtag
the
Rio
OG
represent,
team,
even though you guys-
although they
even
changed
though
their
you guys-
logo.
Yeah, but
They cropped their logo, rather.
Flat Chat's just doing what they did in Season 1. It'll be fine.
I mean, this time they're slightly more organized. They're not trying to run
They
ball
are
goats.
more organized, I'll give them that for sure.
They're not running ball goats anymore. That was a thing for like 2 weeks.
Razor. You can
That's
thank Razor
beautiful.
for that.
I'm actually surprised Razor didn't get on a team, but anyways, that's more of an intermediate discussion. So intermediate, we got CDC. Grape, you're up first. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my statement for TDC is, what is your backup plan? Now, the reason I'm going to say this is because right now they have lost one of their biggest main tanks and starter, Jeff. So who is going to be your backup for this position? Well, currently they actually don't have a backup main tank. Sermi can flex onto that main tank, but is that going to be your ideal position? Furthermore, especially in this game that they had against Vitalize, which I played in, you guys don't have very many bench players. So how are you guys going to actually capitalize on this week break coming up? Are you guys going to pick up more players in the future? Because most teams should have a backup plan just in case, and that could also be from backup starters
And
or
30
from
seconds.
I will say this. They picked up Gil, who's a main tank. But
Oh, they did.
we don't need to talk about it. Anyways, all right.
Is he? Anyways, we got Copy, you got
Yes.
DC.
DC. Did losing Ranter plummet DC to the bottom? Now, the reason I say this is because I'm close friends with Ranter. We talk about the team stuff all the time. And he was an essential part to DC. A lot of the players decided that they wanted to sign to DC because Ranter was on there. Ranter is a very popular figure. But now that he's gone, can a player or can a manager like Platinum keep the like Sparkle, Shim, and OJ like all under check? And I don't know. Like, I don't know how good Plat can do with the managing, but DC is
And
not looking
30
too hot right now.
seconds. Good timing. Anyways, next we got Wait What, and I hope you guys are ready for this one. My phrase is, please shut up for like 2 minutes. And the context behind this is that they are quite obviously probably top 2 at this point in intermediate. It's hard to tell if they're better than the top teams in the opposing division because they don't play each other yet. But
They
they're
definitely are, but
they
yeah, sorry.
they definitely are like one of the top teams in intermediate. But please stop the trash talk. You make yourselves look so stupid despite your play being so clean and so good to watch. Anyways, that's 30 seconds exactly. Copy, you got DKE.
DKE, Wizard can't even save this team. Now, this team, I'm gonna be honest, this team, I've streamed 2 of their games. It hurts to watch. They're so unorganized. I think whoever's running the team needs to just purge this team from the inside out. There's a lot of problems I'm not going to get into, but I think Wizard is your only shining little star of this team. He's like a little light, and I just think this team needs to completely revamp.
All right, 28 seconds, good to go.
I agree with that. I think. Okay,
Go ahead.
can I say
Go
anything?
ahead. Yeah, go.
Yeah, I really think like I watched the DKE versus Bigger Parrots game, and it was actually really close. By the way, it was a 3-0, but it was really close. So I think DKE is getting there. But you look at all these fights, Wiz is hard carrying them. There was one point on Hunter where we got 4 kills, and they still lost.
Yep,
Explain
I
that
remember
loss.
that.
Like,
And he got a 7K last week on King's Run. I think he did this week as well against Pepega.
He's definitely
Exactly.
nuts, but they gotta
He's
build
doing
around
what
him.
he can.
He's
he
doing
can
what he
only
can.
carry so hard. He's not Term or Melon. Anyways, we got Vitalize, which was Pooter, but Dividing. Go ahead.
Yeah, alright. So my phrase for Vitalized is new roster, new me. Last week we saw Vitalize, probably because a lot of their starters couldn't play, but they saw them test out a bunch of new ringers. I believe we saw Andrew O on main tank. We saw Crybaby on, I think it was Hitscan DPS, and we also saw Tark on main support. And at this point afterwards, we have seen Vitalize make a lot of moves, which was basically to bring those ringers onto their main roster. I'm very interested to see, since this has obviously been a very telegraphed play. I know we have
30
Graven
seconds.
Copy Dogger here. And yeah, I hope they'll
me and Croc were planning this for like 2 weeks. Oh my
yo,
god.
same, bro. Oh my god, bro. Okay.
I mean, more me and Croc, but yeah.
Okay, shut up, Coffee. I've been on the team longer than you have. Okay, stop pretending like you're literally ran this shit, bro.
No.
I'm literally the OG here.
Okay.
Fucking 3rd round pick.
Anyways, we got Bot Burgers. Copy, that's you. Go ahead.
Bot Burgers at the top, yet at the bottom. Now, when I look at this roster, it has a good amount of weaknesses, but despite the weaknesses, they have taken wins off of Double Cap and DKE, which is very good. I honestly thought they were going to lose both those games. So the team has some promise. They've picked up some new players. They picked up 2 off tanks, some DPS, some supports. Maybe this team can get better, but I don't know. But at the top, yeah, at the bottom, because they are at the top of standings.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. They have 2 wins, but they're off of 2 of the weakest teams in their division.
Exactly.
So, is it...
I would say they're worse than DKE though. I
shoot.
think DKE right now can be boppers.
I would heavily argue against that.
What was the team last season in Overwatch League that, for Stage 1 had a really easy schedule and people were like, oh, they're OP?
Boston
and then...
Uprising.
Was it?
Boston
No,
made
no,
stage
it was
playoffs.
it
Or
was
was it-
Paris. No, Paris did good in the first 2 games.
Paris
I think
didn't
you
make
might be thinking about Dallas.
It might have been Dallas. I remember
because
someone
Dallas
had it.
barely missed. Yeah, because they won 3 games, but Boston made playoffs that stage.
Yeah, but everyone, myself included, and I
Oh,
rooted for
Fusion! It was
Boston
Fusion.
season.
Fusion had one of the easiest.
Oh yeah, it was Fusion. They went 6-1.
Oh,
They
yeah,
lost to
yeah,
Yeah,
Florida.
and then the
Fusion were
average
back.
wins for all the team they faced was 1.2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I get the feel. I fear that's the case with Bot Burgers. Anyways, we got Pepega Parrots next. Grape, that's you.
Yeah, let me just get the notes up. Okay, so for Pega Parrots, my statement is, can you guys survive until Jeff? So if you guys haven't heard, Pega actually dropped Wumpus, so that means they have no main tank right now, and with a lot of rumors going on that they're going to pick Jeff, who actually end up leaving CDC and actually taking a suspension for 2 weeks from this roster. I'm worried if Pega Parrot can actually hold back and actually get wins until Jeff comes. If you guys also don't know, one of their starting DPS Chicken was also suspended for another week or so, if I recall correctly. So I'm actually worried. Will Pega Parrots actually be able to take some of these some wins in the next week or so,
And
especially
30
against week
seconds.
5 at CC? So will they be able to?
Also, they have Viper on main tank, but yeah. good.
Yeah. I don't think
Again,
Lumpus
fuck
played
that.
that much, did he?
No, he
I think
played every
Wumpus-
game.
Wumpus
Viper's played
started,
every
yeah.
game. No, Viper played every game. From
But I
What
think
did he
Wumpus
play? He
didn't-
was main
No,
support?
no, wait.
No,
Wumpus?
Viper is a main tank.
No, I mean
Viper's
Lumpus.
definitely maintained. I don't know who have one.
Viper,
actually. I don't know
Viper
what he
played
does.
all of the first game, and I
Yeah.
believe he played the third game. I don't know about second, but
Honestly, Viper is really good.
Viper is pretty good. Yeah, no, I think their main tank situation is perfectly fine.
Especially if they
Honestly,
do
would
get Jeff.
argue that Viper. I would honestly argue Viper is better than Jeff right now. But
I
that
honestly have played devil's advocate with that exact possibility. I don't think I've seen those two play against each other because I don't think Viper
yeah, I
played
would
against
love
Jeff.
to see that.
But
Love to
it's
see
really
that.
close, I think. Anyways, what else do we have? Overcharged copy. That's you.
can this team charge to the top? See what I did there? So basically, this team, I think, made the most cuts and signings. They cut 4 players. They signed 1 back as an assistant manager, and they signed 5 players, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of changes. You could say somewhat positive changes, but to me, I did a lot of scouting for Powerhouse, and I know like no one they picked up. So maybe Overcharged becomes a good team, but it's like, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
All right. Yeah, I don't think anyone knows what's going on with Overcharged right now. Like, they have too many new pieces. Let's see. Yoink is
They got rid of
next.
Hunter though, so
They did. Yeah, he complained a lot. Sorry, Hunter, if you're watching this,
Wait,
but he
can we
complained
just
a
take a
lot.
1 minute break?
No,
Just
let's-
explain the Hunter
can we
situation.
not?
Let's not
Explain it.
trash on Hunter.
No,
but
I
he,
don't want to
no.
explain the Hunter situation.
yeah.
I'm
Let's not
so
get
good.
it.
Wait, I'm really
Okay.
curious.
We can talk about it off recording.
Okay.
Anyways, Yoink is next. Dividing. That's, I believe, you. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So last week I hosted the week 3 game between Yoink and Overcharged. It was said to be the battle between the worst 2 teams in Intermediate B at the time. Yoink won that game 3-0, but after the game we saw Overcharged make a lot of moves and Yoink has done absolutely nothing. So my phrase for them is a false sense of security, question mark, because I don't know if they have anything planned for after latecomers show up, but I'm scared that they got their first win against what was the worst team in the division at the time, and we've seen Overcharged make moves, and Yoink hasn't,
And
and
30
I'm worried that
seconds.
they're complacent.
This game reminds
I
me
will
of...
say after, because I was at scrims like 10 minutes ago, and it's not. We were going against Yoink, and it's that's all I have to say. It's like
Still not great.
grimacing. That's
So
all
no,
I have to
this
say.
game reminded me of. I mean, Dividing went through a Washington Justice versus Florida Mayhem. Oh my god, it was just 2 really bad teams just playing. It was so funny to watch.
But yeah, Yoink looked good against Overcharged.
Yeah,
Uh,
but that wasn't a very
I
high
mean-
bar to hit, to be fair.
That is
So,
that is true. That is true.
not to say anything for the new Overcharge, but whatever. Let's see. High Society is next. Copy. Go ahead.
All right, for High Society, my statement is just, what is your identity? Because when I was like, wait, who's on High Society? I know they have Cad, but that's because he's my good friend. And they had Sebs because it's Sebs. And that's literally everyone I remembered. This team is like a solid team, but it's like, what do they do that's special? Like some teams have that one player that's just like vocal or stuff, out there. HS has none of that. They don't have an identity. So I'd love for them to find one. But for right now, they're just
30
average.
seconds. Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean,
Go ahead,
for
go.
High Society, man. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I look at High Society and bro, like they have no star player. You could probably make an argument for Sebs maybe. He is really good. He played really well in his first game, by the way. But I look at the roster. Nemo, average main tank. Cad, yeah, he's okay, I guess.
Ooh, I would say Nemo's above average. I think they have good players. Like, I think Slamfire, Cat, after I looked at the rest, so Slamfire, Cad, Nemo, Sebs, all good. The DPS is my biggest question. But it's even that I just think they don't have an identity. Like, they just stick to meta. They don't do anything unique. They just do. They're like robots.
Yeah,
It's-
like even Overcharge has like a name. They have Hunter's team. Like that's not a good
They,
thing, but at least they have an
Not
identity.
anymore, though.
Yeah,
Not
I know,
anymore.
but like, yeah, still, but like, at least they had one. Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean though. Like High Society kind of reminds me of Season 1 Soul Dynasty, where like you just
Yeah, oh
don't
my God,
have an
that's
identity.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Okay.
they never talk in general. I'm not even joking. Like, I
That's
think
it,
you
yeah.
see like
They're
one
all
person.
quiet.
It's giving me flashbacks to OTW last season. It's flash like what was it? No, it wasn't. It was who was the manager last season for OTW?
OTW, Orbit.
Orbit, yeah, I think it was when Orbit told everyone on OTW do not speak in general. I'm getting flashbacks to that. I don't know about you guys.
I could agree with that.
I feel like Nick wouldn't do that, but then again, I can't confirm or deny because I'm not in their server.
Yeah,
Or
Nick
is it
is
for-
such a-
Nick in his private bugs would force him to play every match.
Nick is
Says it all.
such a vocal player. I played with him on a team. He's so vocal. He's like
Yeah, well, he was
super
the shot caller for Papega Parrots.
Yeah, so it's just I don't know.
It's weird. Anyways, getting close to finishing up intermediate. Grape, you got Shanghai.
Yeah, Shanghai. So my statement for Shanghai is, how do you bounce back from this? If you guys don't know, Shanghai actually destroyed the first 2 opponents, 3-0, and everyone thought Shanghai was good at contest. Wait, what? And then all of a sudden, you see
It was
Shanghai.
Powerhouse. They went against Powerhouse. Sorry.
Well, Powerhouse beat Shanghai 3-1, and then everyone's saying, does Shanghai actually deserve to be that #1 seed right now? And Shanghai's argument here was that they lost Muhammad. Now, you lose one starter, you cannot blame it all on that. Shanghai has a 12-man, almost a 12-man roster. If you're gonna blame one starter missing, you have
And
5 or
30
6
seconds.
other people. You can't blame it on that.
Yeah, you said wait what, but they lost to Powerhouse.
No, I said they could they contest Wait What? People consider that they could.
I thought you said they like what?
No.
Okay, went against wait what? My bad,
Could
my
they
bad.
Yeah, I think as long as they keep their composure, Shanghai should be fine. But I think a lot of people are shocked about Powerhouse beating them there because that was not in the predictions.
Same here, and I was on Powerhouse.
Speaking of Powerhouse, Copy, you want to close out intermediate?
Yep. All right. Rolling through your teams, it's the Chengdu Powerhouse, and the reason I say this is because this Powerhouse last week gave me the Chengdu Hunter vibes. I can't confirm or deny this, but the entire series, I think they're the only team to play 4 maps and not pick Mei once. This team beat what people consider the best team by not running meta. These people ran Winston into meta, like into a Mei, and they somehow won. I don't know how. I really don't. So
That's 30
I
seconds.
want to see this team more, but yeah.
Winston Overwatch.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even watch that match because I've been busy with a lot of staff stuff that the fighting can attest to. But I gotta go back and watch that match because that one was a huge upset from the public's perception.
Oh, it was from my perspective. Honestly, I was like, there's no way Powerhouse win this match, especially how scrims were going. I was like, there's no way, and then they did. I was like, oh my god.
There's always that one upset that's like comes out of
It
nowhere.
happens.
Yeah. Anyways, going into advanced, then we got Guangzhou Gangsters dividing. That's you.
Yeah, my phrase is a very famous phrase from Sabyolbi himself: zero practice, no plan. Guangzhou Gangsters has consistently had trouble getting their players to just show up to scrims, getting enough players to actually scrim. I've heard multiple occasions of Guangzhou having to cancel scrims at the last second just because they can't get 6 people to show up. And therefore they have looked very unpracticed in their games. They have not looked they've just...
And 30 seconds.
They don't look good. They need more practice, man.
I will say...
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. I
No,
talk
you go.
enough.
I'm sorry. The thing, I actually have some leaks. Apparently, they would scrim at 5 Eastern, and so I think 4 of their players are West, and that's like 2 p.m. for them, so they can never make
What?
it.
That's like... They're in school. Like, what?
No, when I was an assistant manager, they were asking for 6 EST scrims. I do remember
That's
that.
pretty early
vividly.
still.
Yeah, it's very early.
That's why one of their best players, Stewie, by the way. If you guys know Novice All-Star last season, probably best off tank in the league. He actually had to leave the team because he was in school during all the scrims.
Oh,
I
that's
wouldn't
funny.
say best player, but he's really good. I love Stewie. Shout out to Stewie. I love you.
Actually,
Shout out to Stewie real quick.
one quick thing I do want to point out is that despite the fact that Newt had to forfeit against Guangzhou last week, so we didn't get to see them play, Brody actually showed up to the match. Like, he was in the lobby, and then they scrimmed, and I think Bakande streamed the scrim, and Brody was actually there. So, like, they might actually have a main tank now.
Who knows, man?
Maybe. Anyways, moving on to the flock. That's me. And my phrase for the flock is full retard works if everyone does it. Because this team is stupid aggressive. Like, I did not think that anyone could be more aggressive than Agreed until I saw Fortal play. Except the funny thing is that Surf and EMP in particular, I believe they have previous synergy from Toker season 1 or 0, whatever their first season was.
And Rose Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, so like they have a lot of synergy from what I can tell, and it definitely shows in game. Like, they keep him alive, and it works, and that's 30 seconds.
I mean, I'm really impressed by this flock roster. I just want to say, like,
Yeah.
they picked up half of an OD team by itself that is successful, that went 7-4, and like, I'm just impressed by them generally. I think that flock is probably gonna be one of the more dominant teams in advance.
Yeah.
I think if they keep up Fortal, because Fortal is best drawing by far in advance. No question about it. No question about it.
Yusuf exists. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh, Yusuf. Wait, he's actually in the season this year?
Yeah, he's starting for Easy Clap when he's around.
Oh my.
I will say that I do love the Fortal EMP Surf because they're part of the contract game. So shout out to them.
Smiler's game.
Yeah.
I don't know Toker culture, but I'll take your word for it. I believe that's Toker.
And they would have won Rose Cup if they didn't get banned.
They got banned for saying GG easy.
Oh,
Yeah.
unfortunate. I know some leagues
And
have like
how's
really
mad at 24,
I think
It
I
really,
really posting that.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
the
you
whole
were there that day
situation.
dividing, right? Yeah.
I was there in the watch party for their it was their quarterfinal match. They 3-0'd
Yeah.
and then they were banned the next day. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you were in the VC. We were like saying dividing. Are you Brazilian and stuff? I remember that day. Yeah.
Anyways,
I like
next-
I don't remember that at all.
anyways, I don't remember that.
No, we were like dividing. Are you Brazilian?
I don't remember that.
anyways, moving on to the next team in advance. That's Hangzhou dividing. You got that one.
Yep. My phrase for Hangzhou is I hope Agreed is worth it. Again, this was another game that I was hosting. I saw them. They took a map off of I believe it was. Gosh, who did they play last week? They played Flock last week, and they took a map, so that
yeah.
meant that Agreed got to play map 4 because his suspension was up. They were super excited about it. They're like, yeah, his suspension's over, put him in. They put him in, and they looked way worse with Agreed in map 4. They Agreed looked, I don't know if there's like 5 different excuses we could use that it was his one
30
map and they
seconds.
weren't used to him. I hope that's it. I hope it's not just that
Yeah.
Agreed is legitimately worse with Juice.
Yeah, right. I said this as I said a lot about Agreed coming in when we did the advanced segment, and I'm willing to give him a break because that was his first map of the season, not even match, like map. But like he got dumpstered on by Melton Core. Like he went so aggressive, and the casters are like, "Wow, the pace is really fast," and then instantly. Every single fight, if you didn't call it a fight, Agreed to get walled, Maywalled, and just melted. It's like, oh, well, there you go.
Yep.
Every time. Rialto was very quick.
Yeah, it was not. It might have been.
Poor Agreed.
It
He
might have
just
been.
wanted to play.
Well, he got to play.
Not the way he wanted to. he played more in... He was in Spawn more than he was playing, let's be honest.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Anyways, next team is Hanamura Hotshots, and I got this one. So, my phrase is, so when will this all turn around? And that kind of sounds passive-aggressive, but I didn't necessarily mean it that way, despite it might have come off that way. Where Hamop is obviously famous for bringing the Bot Burgers around and taking them to arguably one of the best teams in Novice last season. So, a lot of people expected Hanamura to do really well coming into this season, and so far, obviously, they're 0-2. They did put up a good fight. They forced Easy Clap onto meta, something that no one else has ever done. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Flushed is next, and dividing. You got that one.
Yeah, Flushed says all is well for now. Flushed, of course, is on the top of Advance right now, I believe. They won both of their matches so far 2-0. This week is their first real test, I think, going up against Easy Clap. That's going to be a really good game. I'm looking forward to it. The problem is, things seem good, but this group of players is notorious for things seeming good for a month or two, and then everything falls apart. It's happened to Chengdu Chads last season. It happened to What's Your Peak in Open Division. They've completely fallen apart. It has happened like 5
30
other
seconds.
times in the past for other teams. They need to prove that they can stay together for more than a couple months.
Yeah. Plus, this is Easy Clap, and we've asked Easy Clap multiple times after their games, like, what's the one team that you think could actually contest you? And they've said Flushed every single time. It's the only one. So, like, they might take this game seriously.
It
and
is
if that's
the one
case,
team it is the one team they actually respect.
it's the one team they recognize, and you kind of don't want to incur the wrath of Koodle and wannabe DPS duo trying. Like that's everyone's nightmare in this league.
Yeah, I can't say I would want to be in Flushed shoes right now.
Alright, next team is Goats Only. Pooter, unfortunately, you weren't here for this one, but let's see, my phrase was, Brody really was the whole plan, huh? because for those of you who don't know, Goats only got sniped 1 round early, like literally 1 pick early, because they were going to get Brody, but Guangzhou was the exact pick before them and swiped him. And their entire team was supposed to be based around Brody. Pooter was raging about it in manager's chat, so staff was just losing their minds laughing at it. And obviously Goats only has looked a little bit disoriented. They don't look like they have a plan quite yet. So yeah, that's 30 seconds, so I cut myself off. But yeah. Rather unfortunate.
GR. I feel like that's something.
Hopefully they can rebound.
Yeah.
Anyways, this the next team is Newt Newt, and I know this is Pooter's phrase.
Yeah, I do want to give Pooter credit. He was the one who came up with this one, so shout out to you, Pooter. The craze is this team has never played a match. Newt Newt is currently 1-1, and both games have ended in a forfeit. The first time it was Hangzhou Bark who forfeited and gave Newts the win, and the second game it was Newt Newt who ended up having to forfeit and they took the loss. People have been talking about Newt Newt actually quite highly. They think they could be the 3rd best team in the league right now, behind Easy Clap and Easy Clap. I almost said Hangzhou. Easy Clap and Flushed, but we need to see them play a full game. I have no idea what to think of them right now.
Yeah, they have yet to. They've played 2 maps, and those were 2 maps against a desperate Hangzhou.
They have played 2 maps so far, and
I don't know if you can count those as maps.
They were technically maps. They were things that happened.
And the last team is Easy Clap, and I think Easy Clap fellas are going to like this one. My phrase for them is the only people who could Smurf in Advanced. Because, let's be honest, they are the only team who could Smurf in Advanced. They are stupid talented. They have at least 1 player who is going to be ineligible next season, wannabe, because his team, Team 2, placed in 9th, I want to say, in Open Division this past season, and we have a rule top 16 and above are just too good to play. So, yeah, crazy good team. If they actually try, they're going to win. Sometimes if they don't try, they're going to win.
So you're trying to say that if IM37 did join the league, you'd be ineligible?
You wanna?
Remember when someone tried to get IM37 in this league?
Yes, that
Wait,
is.
did that?
Yes, so short story, Cybersnip last season.
Very nearly happened, yeah.
Yeah, Cybersnip tried to get IM37 and he was going to sign up, but the day that he was going to sign up, he got signed to Contenders.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then he was considering still coaching for Z9, but like around the time he was going to coach for Z9, he got into Owl. So we're like, oh well. So we kind of saw that and we're like, yeah, we should not.
I'm sure I'm37 got on a team recently.
Yeah,
he got on a Chinese Contenders team.
Yeah.
He got on a Chinese Contenders screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's still hanging around.
Yeah. He speedran everything, including Owl, and getting kicked.
He got put in an objectively bad situation.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I'm not gonna blame him.
He didn't play too well, but I don't think you can totally just blame him.
I don't think he played horrible.
He played pretty bad. As a Defiant fan who watched every single game he played absolute dog shit. I will say it now. Okay?
I don't think he was known for his Zarya though. Wasn't he playing like Brig and stuff?
He was... And then he was known for his DPS. They put him on Zarya, he fed. He only won a game against Washington. Then they put him on Brig. He fed even harder on Brig. Okay? And then they had to bench him.
He's a DPS player. He's not a...
Yeah, he wasn't ready for Goats.
Yeah.
He clapped in the 1 game of Contenders he played Widow and clapped the nerds on Goats, okay? And then when it actually came down to a Goats mirror matchup where he knew he couldn't play DPS, he literally fed.
Anyways, that's all we've got. We discussed IM37's career more than Easy Clap, but I guess that's not too much to say. Hope you enjoyed this week, despite it being stupid short. But that's just kind of what happens when you have 2 break weeks and the hosts coincide.
It do be like that.
Oh well, hope you enjoyed it regardless. Peace, nut.